The snow came in the night again, without announcement, without sound. It covered everything I'd been and left a cleaner version of the ground. I stood at the window for an hour, just watching it erase the path. There's something in that kind of power that makes you wanna do the math of how much you could let go of if the world just kept on covering it. How much of what you think is love is just the fear of burying it.
The cabin holds its heat so well. The logs are doing what logs do,
and I'm inside this quiet spell of being no one's version of you. Snö and faller still in it, och jag pustar lättare. White silence, white silence. The world has gone to sleep. White silence, white silence. The kind of quiet you can keep long after the snow melts, long after the cold.
I drove 3 hours north to find exactly nothing, which is what I needed. Left everything I had behind, including the version that conceded to every expectation placed on someone who was always almost ready. The snow fell and the tracks were erased, and something in my chest went steady. The northern lights were out by 10. I watched them from the porch alone. I've never felt so much and then so little,
both completely known.
The green was moving like it breathed, like something living in the sky. I stood there in the cold and seethed with
gratitude I couldn't quantify. White silence, white silence. The world has gone to sleep. White silence, white silence. The kind of quiet you can keep long after the snow melts, long after the cold.
The thermometer gave up at some point. The numbers stopped mattering out here. Everything became a frozen joint between the sky and the atmosphere. I checked the woodpile, it'll hold another week if I'm careful with it. There's a particular kind of cold that asks you what you're willing to sit with. I haven't spoken in 3 days to anyone who wasn't in my head. I've been living in a kind of haze that's closer to alive than it is to dead. The radio picks up one station, a man reading weather
in a language
I only half know.
The intonation
is enough, the cold, the miles, the anguish.
Pakkanen pitää minut herillä, mutta myös rauhallisena. 40 below and I'm still here. 40 below and the sky is clear. Everything I brought with me is lighter than it used to be. I read his letters from this place. 3 winters in a row he'd come to find whatever he couldn't face in the life he'd built for everyone.
The last one said the cold was kind.
It asked nothing and gave nothing back,
which was exactly what his mind
had needed.
Something off the track. I understand him better now,
standing in the same frozen field.
The cold doesn't ask you how
or why, it just asks you to yield
to the fact of temperature and dark,
to the fact of your own breathing,
which turns out to be the whole remark.
The cold was always making
40 below
and I'm still here.
40 below
and the sky is clear.
Everything I brought with me is lighter than it used to be. I'll go back when the thaw comes,
not before and not because
the cold made me someone better,
just someone who remembers what warmth was. Green above the frozen lake, moving like it has a reason. Something ancient stays awake through every version of this season. Nordlyset kjenner ingen grenser. Det bare er, det bare er. Og jeg er liten under himmelen, men det er nok, det er nok. Just the light, just the cold, just the particular green of something that old. December here means something different. The sun gives up by 2:30. Everything becomes more significant. When light is something you ration through. I've started noticing the candles, the way they do the work of days. There's a kind of life that handles itself better in smaller ways.
I thought the dark would be the hard part. It turned out to be the revelation.
There's a Nordic word, I know the heart of it without the full translation.
Mörkertid, the dark time, which
is not a warning but a season.
the thing you live inside, not ditch.
A thing that comes with its own reason. Some things only show themselves when everything else goes dark. Some truths live on the highest shelves and need the longest night to embark. The long dark is not the enemy. The long dark is the teacher. The long dark shows you what you keep and what was never really yours to reach for.
I called my father in the dark at 2 p.m., pitch black outside.
He asked if I was finding what I'd parked
myself out here to find. I said, I think the dark
is finding me, which wasn't what I meant to say.
He went quiet, then said,
probably that's more or less the only way.
Mörkertiden icke tom, den full av det vi glemte.
Den gir oss tillbaka till oss selv, det vi la igjen i det vi drømte. The long dark is not the enemy. The long dark is the teacher. The long dark shows you what you keep and what was never really yours to reach for. I used to be afraid of this, the particular shade of 3 p.m. Now I make my tea and sit and let the dark begin again.
The radio in the harbor office plays something nobody requested. A jazz station from the south of this that nobody has ever questioned. The fishermen come in at 4 before the light has any interest in showing up. They've heard this score 1,000 mornings in the mist. Old Erickson takes his coffee black. He's been doing this for 40 years. He doesn't talk about going back because going back never appears as an option in the life he chose, which wasn't chosen. So much has happened The way that most of what a person knows about themselves is quietly fastened. Have a kollar icke, det bara tar och vi kommer tillbaka uansett. Fisherman's radio at 4 a.m. Same song, different morning. The harbor holds the boats again. The sea gives back its warning. And Erickson drinks his coffee black and doesn't look at what he's leaving, because the sea always brings you back to something worth believing.
I watched from the window of the inn, the boats going out in single file. There's a particular discipline in doing the same thing every while. Not because it makes you certain, or because the sea is kind, but because the lifting of the curtain each morning is its own design. Reminder that you're still alive, and that alive means showing up. The jazz played on the boats would drive into the dark. Erickson's cup sat empty on the counter there. I asked him if he ever tired. He looked at me with something like care and said, "Of what? Which was required?" Fisherman's radio at 4 a.m.
Same song, different morning.
The harbor holds the boats again.
The sea gives back its warning.
And Erickson drinks his coffee black
and doesn't look at what he's leaving,
because the sea always brings you back
to something worth believing.
Thought I knew what I was running from. Turns out I was just running. Every city I arrived in numb from the particular stunning of being with someone who loved me in a language I couldn't receive, who offered everything above me and watched me consistently leave. She said I had a talent for distance, even when I was standing close, that I maintained a kind of insistence on being someone's almost. I didn't argue because she was right. I just packed the thing I always pack and drove until I lost the light and didn't bother looking back. Jag sprang från rätt saker av helt fel anledningar. Snowblind, not from the white, but from running into the light of too many places at once. Snowblind, not from the cold, but from everything I've been told I was, which I believed for months.
I met her at a hostel in the north. She had 3 bags and no itinerary. She laughed about her lack of course, like someone who'd made peace with being.
Between one thing and the next, I asked her what she was looking for.
She said, "I'll know it from the context," which was the best answer I'd heard before. walked along the harbor after dark, the kind of walk that asks for nothing. Just two people making their small mark on an evening that was already something. She told me about the woman who'd loved her in a language she couldn't hear. I told her I knew that particular sermon, and we both laughed, which made it clear. Snowblind, not from the white, but from running into the light of too many places at once. Snowblind, not from the cold, but from everything I've been told I was, which I believed for months. Maybe the north isn't where you find yourself. Maybe it's just where you stop long enough to notice what fell off the shelf when you were too busy not to drop it. My father never said I love you, not once in 40 years of knowing. He showed it in the things he'd do, the firewood stacked, the garden growing, the car that always had a full tank, the quiet way he'd fix what broke. I used to think that he was blank. Now I think he just spoke a different language, acts not words, which I inherited completely, and drove away every person heard me say it, which I said repeatedly, without the thing behind it landing the way his did, because his hands were in it. My misunderstanding was thinking words were how love stands. Far min visste kärlighet med händerna, jag lärde det för sent. Kerosene burns clean and slow, does the work without the show. Everything my father knew, that I am only learning through. The particular cost of loving badly, the particular gift of getting there. Sadly, late, but there. I watch the men who can't say it, the ones who fix things instead, who show up and who lay it all down without a word said. I used to want the words so badly, I left the ones who came with actions. I understand now, though it's sadly too late for certain satisfactions. There was one who regrouted my shower without being asked, just noticed. Spent a Saturday afternoon and hour after hour quietly focused. I was was on the phone complaining to someone else about his silence while he worked and it was raining, and I missed the whole significance. Kerosene burns clean and slow, does the work without the show. Everything my father knew, that I am only learning through the particular cost of loving badly, the particular gift of getting there sadly, late but there.
He came back after 7 years, which is either too long or not enough, depending on the mathematics of tears and whether time makes things less rough or just more distant, which can look the same from certain angles. He stood at the door and I took a moment to undo the tangles of what I told myself about him. In the years since his departure, I'd built a version slightly dim that made leaving seem like torture he'd inflicted, which wasn't accurate. But accuracy isn't always what you need when the fact of it is just survival in the hallways. Han kom aftur og ég vissi ekki hvort ég vildi það eða ekki. 7 years is long enough to become someone who doesn't need the particular kind of love that leaves you there to bleed. 7 years is short enough to remember exactly how it felt before you learn to be enough with the hand you'd been dealt.
I came back because I'd run out of reasons not to, which isn't the same as knowing what I'm about or having anything that glistens with certainty. I just knew that the version of me that left had been replaced by someone who understood a little more about theft of what belongs to someone else, their time, their particular configuration of hope, which is a kind of crime that doesn't need intention.
I stood at the door and she took a moment that felt like a year. I watched her face and I mistook hesitation for something clear. 7 years is long enough to become someone who doesn't need the particular kind of love that leaves you there to bleed. 7 years is short enough to remember exactly how it felt before you learn to be enough with the hand you'd been dealt. I let him in Not because I forgave him, but because 7 years of winter is long enough to make you wonder what you're actually keeping the cold out for.
I've been in love with the wrong people at the right times mostly, which makes the math unequal and the leaving costly. Not because they were wrong exactly, just wrong for the version of me that existed then, which abstractly is the only honest way to see it. She had a way of making silence feel like an accusation. I learned a particular compliance that looked a lot like patience. We lasted 3 years past the ending, which is more common than it sounds. Love has a talent for pretending it's still inside the same bounds. Jag håller därför in förkärda målet i vägen nog.
För någon av oss, drift, not lost, just finding the long way back to whoever I was before I learned to keep track
of what someone else needed
instead of what was true. Drift, not lost, just finding my way through. He left in February, which is the worst month for leaving. Not because of cold, it is the month that makes you keep believing.
Spring is coming,
which it is,
but slowly,
too slowly for someone
who's just been left with all of his
books and none of his reasons.
I kept the apartment a year longer than I should have.
Everything's still there.
Each month I told myself I'd be stronger
by the next one, which wasn't fair
to either of us.
Him gone,
me living in the archaeology
of us, which I kept building on
instead of letting it just be.
Drift, not lost, just finding the long way back to whoever I was before I learned to keep track
of what someone else needed
instead of what was true. Drift, not lost, just finding my way through.
Some loves don't end badly, they just end at exactly
the right time, which feels identical
to the wrong time
from inside it. You called it 3, which means something happened or nothing did, which with you was always between those two, the adult and the kid, who couldn't decide what they wanted from someone standing right there, who loved you, which you discounted as a given, which wasn't fair. I answered, which I shouldn't have. The sound of you at 3 is different from the sound of you at half, past any reasonable hour, efficient at dismantling everything I'd built in the weeks since you'd been gone. Not with intention, just the silt of your voice coming back on. I should've let it ring. I knew that as I picked up. 3 a.m. is its own thing, and you were always its own setup. 3 a.m. call and I picked up. 3 a.m. and I filled your cup with whatever you needed that night, which was everything and not quite right, because what you needed and what I had were the same thing, which was sad in the particular way that giving everything still isn't living.
I called because I needed to hear something that sounded like before, when everything was less unclear and love was less of a chore. I know that's not a fair thing to do at 3 to someone sleeping, who'd done the work of separating while I was busy not keeping. She picked up, which told me something about the work she'd said she'd done. Not as an accusation, nothing like that,
just that 3 a.m. undone.
Both of us equally,
which meant
we hadn't actually finished whatever this was.
The intent
was there, but the follow-through diminished.
3 a.m. call and I picked up. 3 a.m. and I filled your cup with whatever you needed that night, which was everything and not quite right, because what you needed and what I had were the same thing, which was sad in the particular way that giving everything still isn't living.
I hung up around 4, not because we'd resolved anything,
just because the dark before
dawn does its own particular thing to honesty,
makes it harder to maintain. So we said goodnight, which we both knew was smarter than anything we'd say in the light. There are people who stay and people who go, and I've always known which one I was. Not proudly, just the way you know, your handwriting or the sound of your paws.
I've loved people
who needed staying,
who built their whole lives around the idea
of someone beside them. I kept weighing
anchor instead,
which made it clear that love for me was always partial, something I gave from a moving vehicle. Not cold, just architecturally designed for exits, which is clinical as a way of putting it, but accurate. The therapist called it avoidant, which is the technical equivalent of saying I was good at disappointment. Yeah, är den som alltid drar, och jag vet inte om jag kan ändra det. The leaving kind,
That's what I am.
the leaving kind.
No telegram.
Just a door and a bag in the road, and someone left holding what I owed.
Not money.
Just the ordinary way
Of being someone's almost.
someone's weight. The leaving kind.
I'm working on it, but
The road keeps calling and I'm on it.
I loved a woman who left everything twice a year on average.
She'd come back different, offering some version of herself from the damage,
Of wherever she'd been,
which I took,
because the versions were all her.
and I'd learned to read her like a book that kept revising, which I preferred,
To someone static
which says something.
about my own particular damage.
The therapist said we were something like mirrors,
Which was a message.
I took home and thought about for weeks,
Until it started making sense.
that sometimes what a person seeks is someone fluent in their own tense. The leaving kind,
That's what I am.
the leaving kind.
No telegram.
Just a door and a bag in the road, and someone left holding what I owed.
Not money.
Just the ordinary way
Of being someone's almost.
someone's way. The leaving kind.
I'm working on it, but
The road keeps calling and I'm on it. I want to be the staying kind. I think I want that. I just don't know if I want is enough, or if I'm still too far from that.
we fell in love in English, which was neither of our firsts. She was Swedish, I was Finnish, and we met somewhere in the worst version of a common tongue, where everything we meant got slightly lost in translation. We were young and thought the gap was minor, rightly, until the fights, which in English were too clean, too logical. Her Swedish anger was a dish I couldn't eat, too rhetorical for me to follow.
My Finnish silence
Was a wall she couldn't climb.
We were conducting our violence
in a borrowed paradigm. Jag älskade dig på ett språk som inte var mitt eget.
second language love.
Is love with the volume turned down.
Second language love.
Is wanting without the right sound
For what you mean, which changes,
what you mean.
which rearranges everything until you're not sure what was lost and what was yours. My mother said love in your own tongue, or don't love at all, which was extreme, but not entirely wrong among the things that fell apart at the seam
was the particular texture of being fully understood,
which in a second language lectures you on what you thought you could.
Men jag saknar dig på svenska,
det språk du aldrig lärde dig,
där är kärleken som verkligen var,
den du aldrig fick ta del av. Second language love
is love with the volume turned down.
Second language love
is wanting without the right sound
for what you mean, which changes
what you mean,
which rearranges everything until you're not sure what was lost and what was yours.
We said goodbye in English,
which was appropriate,
a language we both managed,
but neither of us owned,
which made the ending
exactly as borrowed as everything else had been. After the end of it, I kept 3 things: a jacket and a habit of sleeping on one side, and a depth of quiet I'd learned to inhabit. The jacket still smells like his particular combination of cedar and something I can't name, which is spectacular in its refusal to mean nothing. The habit I'm working on unlearning, the quiet I decided to keep. It turns out the thing most worth returning to myself was the particular sleep of being alone in a bed that doesn't require negotiation. I hadn't known how much I'd fed on solitude as medication. Jag behållit avskeden, den var min. What I kept, the quiet. What I lost, the noise. What I kept, the riot of my own particular voice that I'd been turning down for years to accommodate. What I kept when he left town was more than I'd had before the date.
She kept the apartment, which was fair. She'd loved it longer than the marriage. I kept the car and a particular chair, and the knowledge of my own mileage.
As a person, which the marriage showed me in ways I hadn't been expecting. She was honest in the way she told me what she needed, even in the rejecting.
I kept the recipe she taught me for the super mother made in winter.
Which is strange, what the ending brought me was her mother's soup and a splinter
of her particular
laughter that I hear sometimes in strangers,
which is either grief or something after grief,
which occupies the same chambers. What I kept, the quiet. What I lost, the noise. What I kept, the riot of my own particular voice that I'd been turning down for years to accommodate. What I kept when he left town was more than I'd had before the date. I'm not saying the ending was good, I'm saying what survived it was more mine than I understood before I had to live it.
I quit drinking on a Tuesday, which is when the serious things happen. The big days are always the no-day days, the ones that aren't tapping into anyone else in particular. Just you and your decision, and the kitchen which is molecular in its indifference to your vision. She'd ask me to 100 times in 100 different registers, from patient to the paradigms of genuine exhaustion, registering as background noise because I wasn't ready, which is the only honest answer for why you don't. It isn't
that you can't,
you're just not there yet.
Minä lopetin sen sinulle, mutta sinä olit jo lähtenyt. Almost sober, almost there, almost someone who could bear
the weight of being loved correctly.
Almost, which is the word exactly
that describes the whole arrangement.
Almost willing, almost stable,
almost past the estrangement
of myself from my own table. I left before he quit, not because I'd stopped believing,
just because almost isn't it.
When you've been almosting and grieving
for 3 years, the particular person
underneath the thing he was doing,
you can't keep waiting for the version
that may or may not be coming. He called me 8 months later
to say he'd done it,
which was true.
I heard it in the particular nature of his voice,
which I once knew.
Every frequency of, I said,
I'm glad, which I was entirely,
and hung up and went to bed
and cried,
which was also entirely.
Almost sober, almost there, almost someone who could bear
the weight of being loved correctly.
Almost, which is the word exactly
that describes the whole arrangement.
Almost willing, almost able,
almost past the estrangement
of myself from my own table.
I did it too late for her, which is the correct order of events.
You do it for yourself first.
Everything else
is the consequence. lived in 11 places since I was 18, 11. Different sets of familiar faces that became background, and then just memory, which fades at different rates depending on how much you needed them, indifferent to whether they needed you as much. People ask where I'm from, which is a question I've stopped finding simple. The answer now involves a quiz about what from means the principle of origin, or the place that shaped you, or the place you keep returning to, or the person who most clearly made you feel like somewhere, which was you. Jämstad är icke ett sted, det är en person noen ganger. Permanent address, I don't have one. Permanent address, I've never known one. Just the particular coordinates of whoever made me feel like I was home, which is a person, not a place. Home, which moves and doesn't leave a trace except in you, which is enough, except when it isn't, which is most of the time.
My permanent address was her apartment for 3 years, which I didn't realize until I left and felt the particular and vertiginous surprise of having nowhere that felt like landing, just places I was staying in, which taught me something worth understanding about where I'd actually been. She moved twice after, I know, because we stayed the kind of friends who know the factual outline, which was enough to watch the address go from somewhere I remembered clearly to somewhere that had nothing in it of the person I'd loved, which nearly made me call, which I didn't.
Permanent address, I don't have one. Permanent address, I've never known one. Just the particular coordinates of whoever made me feel like I was home, which is a person, not a place. Home, which moves and doesn't leave a trace except in you, which is enough, except when it isn't, which is most of the time. I'm looking for a permanent address that doesn't depend on someone staying, which might mean learning to make home out of wherever I am, just staying. I told myself this was the last winter. I'd spend apologizing for my nature to someone who collected every splinter of evidence that I was less than major. I've said that before, last winter, and the one before that, which means either I'm a very slow learner or leaving is harder than it seems.
He wasn't cruel, that would be simpler.
Just consistently disappointed in the gap between what he'd envisioned and what I actually provided, which was everything I had, which turned out to not be enough. Not because what I had was bad, just because his enough was different stuff. Jag förtjänar inte att be om ursäkt för att vara den jag är. The last winter, I mean it this time. The last winter of performing fine. The last winter of the particular crime of shrinking into someone else's line of what a person ought to be. The last winter after this, I'm taking back the parts of me I handed over, which I miss.
I watched her pack the second time with the particular efficiency of someone who'd rehearsed the climb out of something with sufficiency. The first time she'd been apologetic and slow and full of second guessing. This time she was almost athletic about it, which was its own blessing.
I didn't try to stop her,
which was the first honest thing
I'd done in years. The proper
response to watching someone spring
back into themselves. You stand aside,
you don't perform the grief
you think you're supposed to feel.
You let the tide
take what the tide needs,
which is the link.
The last winter, I mean it this time. The last winter of performing fine. The last winter of the particular crime of shrinking into someone else's line of what a person ought to be. The last winter after this, I'm taking back the parts of me I handed over, which I miss. I walked out in February again, which is when I always do things. The cold makes the decision clean, which is what cold is for, among things.
There's a conversation we keep starting and abandoning at the same corner. Every time we get close to parting, the curtain we become the mourner of something we haven't lost yet, which is its own kind of grieving. The thing that hasn't happened but which both of us keep half believing.
I know what you're not saying.
I've learned the grammar of your silence,
the particular way of weighing
words before the self-reliance kicks in and you pull back to safer
ground, which I've mapped completely.
I could draw it on a wafer and hand it back to you
discreetly.
Det vi ikke siger til hinanden, føler mere end det vi siger.
What we don't say
lives in the room after we leave it.
What we don't say
is the thing we both believe it
would cost too much to say out loud, which is why we keep the volume down and love each other in the cloud of everything we don't put down. She knows I know, which makes it
a particular kind of dance,
where both of us can fake it,
and both of us know the stance.
It's temporary, which it is,
but temporary
can last years,
when both people treat the business
of saying it as a frontier.
I started to say it on a Thursday,
standing in the kitchen after dinner.
He looked at me and I saw Thursday
become the day we could have thinner
excuses for the silence,
but I stopped myself at the last second,
which he noticed, and we shut
the door on it, and neither reckoned. What we don't say
lives in the room after we leave it.
What we don't say
is the thing we both believe it.
would cost too much to say out loud, which is why we keep the volume down and love each other in the cloud of everything we don't put down. One of us will say it eventually. The question is the order, and who goes first, which is essentially the whole thing at its border. Came here to end something and ended up beginning, which is how the North works. Nothing goes the way you plan the winning. I brought my resignation from a life I'd half constructed, and found instead a renovation already in progress, unreducted. The light here in December is the most honest light I've found. It doesn't try to be September, it just does what winter's bound to do, which is illuminate everything at low and sideways angle, so the shadows elongate and what's hidden becomes the angle. Nordlyse spurte meg ikke om jeg var klar. Det bare kom. Northern light, it doesn't ask if you're ready for what it shows. Northern light, it just unmasks whatever the longer darkness knows. You've been carrying, which is more than you thought and less than you feared. Northern light, the thing it is illumination. Nothing cleared, just seen.
I drove 6 hours north to find something I couldn't name in the city. Left the version of my mind that thought naming things was witty and necessary, which it isn't up here where the light does the work of saying what a person is in the particular place they lurk. Lise hører annerledes, det skjuler ikke noe. Det bare lyser opp det som og lar deg bestemme hva du vil gjøre.
Northern light, it doesn't ask if you're ready for what it shows. Northern light, it just unmasks whatever the longer darkness knows. You've been carried which is more than you thought and less than you feared. Northern light, the thing it is illumination. Nothing cleared, just seen. I came here to end something. I'm leaving with it still in my hands, but I can see it clearly now, which turns out to be the plan.